Every year, we expect a certain standard from superstar players, especially those who carry the title of franchise cornerstone. You can drop 30 points every night, make All-NBA, and finish top 5 in MVP voting. But for the top players, regular season doesn't define greatness. That's what the playoffs are for. Take Joel Embiid for example, dominant stats, an MVP winner, one of the best big men of this era. But over a decade into his career, he still never made the conference finals. He's come close, but between injuries and late game meltdowns, he might never get there. Or Donovan Mitchell, who led 50+ win teams in both conferences, the main guy on 2 number 1 seeds, but year after year, it's the same story. Great regular season player, flame out by round 2, but here's the thing, at least those guys led their teams to the second round. Believe it or not, there are Hall of Famers, even top 75 players, and multiple time All-Stars who never even got past round 1 as the best player on their team. Guys who racked up stats and accolades, but when it comes to winning in the postseason, they had to lean on someone else, either as a second option, early or later in their careers. A couple of them washed up vets riding the bench. Even 7'6" center Yao Ming led his Rockets to the second round before his foot gave out the Lakers series. Doing so without his superstar teammate. You know what's tragic? The ultra talented Tracy McGrady was injured, missing the entire 09 postseason. T-Mac himself had 7 opportunities before being fully washed to prove himself. How in the heck did the 2-time scoring champ make reckless statements recently saying if he was in Kobe's shoes playing with Shaq during the early 2000s, he too would have had 3 rings? Absolutely not, especially failing to get out of any first round series in an extremely weak conference. In the East, blowing multiple series leads, the numbers and analytics might favor young McGrady over number 8 Mamba, but the work ethic, mentality, and defense, not even a discussion. A bunch of his losses, he was undermanned and justifiable, but a few of them, an absolute travesty of unforgiving circumstances. 2000, his 45-win Raptors, led by cousin Vince Carter, swept by the Knicks before he was an All-Star, averaged 17-7 for the series, could have stayed in Toronto and formed a deadly duo, but took his talents to Orlando. Unfortunately, superstar Grant Hill started having serious ankle issues, missed a couple years. McGrady carried his 45-win team with Darrell Armstrong and Bo Outlaw as his key role players, fell to the 2-seeded Bucks led by the big 3 of Ray Allen, Sam Cassell, and Glenn Robinson. Mac averaged 34, 7, and 8 on nearly 31 shot attempts. No shame in falling to a much better squad. But the following year faced off another 44-win squad. This time, the Charlotte Hornets, led by 22-year-old Baron Davis and David Wesley, with a hobbled Jamal Mashburn, played just 10 minutes of Game 1 before being ruled out remainder of the series. Super beatable, right? Blew an 11-point lead entering the fourth quarter first game. McGrady had missed a free throw, bricked a 3, another missed foul shot, got the ball stolen away, last 4 seconds, lost by a single point. Went 0-4 Game 2 final period, scoreless in overtime. Teammates Pat Garrity and Troy Hudson combined for 54, stole the win. Lost the following 2 home games by double digits. The refs gave the Magic every chance possible, as this game-winning shot by Baron Davis should have 100% counted, but strangely waved off. T-Mac didn't even attempt a single shot in OT, even guaranteed a Game 4 win, but lost by 17. The league then screwed over McGrady's first-round hopes by changing the playoff format first-round series from a best-of-5 to a best-of-7. Matched up with number 1 Detroit, Grant Hill still recovering from injuries. Prime T-Mac led his inferior team to a 3-1 series lead, would have already been in the second round in previous years, but Detroit's head coach Rick Carlisle made the adjustment, allowing rookie Tayshaun Prince guarding the superstar. Orlando then struggled, lost 3 straight games all by blowout fashion. Over a year later, T-Mac traded out west to Houston, teamed up with number 1 pick superstar Yao Ming, a 45-win squad the previous year, led by Steve Francis. McGrady's Rockets won 51 games, competition much tougher in a better conference, but he did have a better supporting cast. Matched up with 58-win Dallas round 1, stole the first 2 games on the road, including this nasty baseline jam on Sean Bradley, which ended his career. Closed out that same game with a game winner. had the chance going up 3-0, but blew a fourth quarter lead, went 1 of 5 from the field in back-to-back fourth quarters at home. Only netted 2 of his 36 points. The final 12 minutes game 4 led to another Dallas comeback, choked away a turnover, failing to secure a rebound after a Jerry Stackhouse missed free throw, went 7 of 22 game 5, missed the game tying shot, went on to lose by 40 points game 7. 2006, both him and Yao missed significant time with injuries, no playoffs for Houston. Then came 2007 against a heavy favorited young unknown Utah Jazz team led by Carlos Boozer and second-year point guard Darren Williams. Both teams protected home court. McGrady played awful all 3 games in Utah, leading to a decisive game 7. There was simply no excuses for losing this series. Dropped 29 and 13 assists final game, but it was Carlos Boozer who shined brightest, poured in 35 and 14. A devastating emotional press conference had T-Mac in tears.
I tried my best. I tried, man. I just, maybe I could have made an extra play here. Maybe I could have got those loose rebounds that we needed in the fourth quarter that we didn't get down the stretch of the game. Maybe I could have did more, but it didn't happen. I can't do it, man.
The saddest part of all this was 07 was his last healthy superstar season, rapidly declined after 2008 playoffs. Yao Ming missed the entire series with injury. McGrady started to have serious back problems, fell to the same Jazz in 6. Throughout T-Mac's playoff career with the Magic and Rockets, shot only 35% from the field in fourth quarters, had another first round exit with the Hawks 2012, then played for San Antonio 2013. Despite not suiting up for any regular season game for those Spurs, the 33-year-old did have a couple garbage time minutes the later rounds, but did not have a title thanks to Ray Allen. McGrady's lack of clutch performance and failing to close out any of those first round series will forever haunt his legacy. There's a reason why he was left off top 75. Russell Westbrook. After Kevin Durant's departure 2016, the one-man wrecking band did have some of the most memorable regular season games we'll remember. Averaged a triple-double for 3 straight seasons, made the impossible a reality, even won an MVP, led OKC to 45 wins, 6th seed, deserved the pass, falling to James Harden's 55-win Rockets. Despite the high motor, his poor shot selection, finishing ability, and lack of shooting, way below average as a first option, had an all-time stat-stuffing series, averaged over 37, 11, and 10. A 51-point game 2, but shot 4 of 18 fourth quarter, blew up multiple leads, had nothing left in the tank. His second leading scorer, Andre Robertson, that's all you gotta know. Game 5, OKC another blown lead, Rush dropped 47, but shot 2 of 11 in the fourth, stole his teammate's rebound, which would have been an easy putback. No shame to losing that season, but 2018, having Paul George and Carmelo Anthony, OKC viewed as contenders, faced off against 5th seeded Utah, led by rookie Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Russ's emotions got the best of him. Won the first game easily, but fell 3 in a row. A poor 7 of 19 game 2, outscored by both Derek Favors and Ricky Rubio. A disgusting game 3, 5 of 17, 14 points, 8 turnovers, outplayed once again by Ricky. Got way too out of focus when asked by the media.
Made some shots. I'm gonna shut that off next game, though. Guarantee that.
Rubio tricks Russ, forcing him into foul trouble. Star teammate Paul George got bullied by Joe Ingles. Carmelo Anthony bullied as a defensive liability. Series all but over after facing a massive deficit. Russ did bounce back. Games 5 and 6 had a combined 91 points, but teammate playoff PP shat the bed. Had a disgusting 5.2 of 16 elimination game 6. Russ shot under 40% for the series, almost twice as many turnovers as Donovan Mitchell. Franchise got rid of Melo right after. PG had an MVP caliber season 2019, won 49 games, had good supporting cast of Dennis Schroeder and Jeremy Grant with prime Steven Adams, favored against Dame Lillard's Blazers. Russ had an absolute travesty of a series. The more steady Dame got into his head, shot a disgusting 37% for the series, average under 23 a game. Lillard a remarkable 33, Even CJ McCollum outplayed Russ. Games 2 and 4, goes 5 of 20 and 5 of 21 from the field. Did a celebration way too early after hitting a 3 in Dame's face, only to collapse. 0 field goals the second half of game 4, one of the biggest forgotten meltdowns. His team up 15 midway through the fourth quarter of game 5, went 11 of 31 from the field, while rest of his team missed just 19 shots. Russ missed his final shot with the score tied at 115. His beef with Dame Lillard ended with a 40-foot buzzer beater, resulted in the best thing that could have happened for the Thunder franchise, but the worst individual outcome for Russ, leaving a stain in his legacy. Many question whether he was a winning player after KD's departure. Number 0 won 0 playoff series, 0 role playoff games with OKC, before traded to Houston, almost blew it with the Rockets, being James Harden's second option, narrowly beating his former team by the skin of his teeth in the bubble. Russ's bad habits destroyed his Rockets' hopes against the eventual champion Lakers, ended with a 20-point loss game 5, still trying to trash talk LeBron. The final minutes, almost got swept by Philly 2021 with the Wizards, a few more first round losses with the Clippers, then 2025 was useless second half series against his former Thunder. All the times Russ got past round 1 pre-2016, it was mainly because of Kevin Durant. Pete Maravich, the LSU prodigy, averaged 44 in college, way ahead of his time, had the insane playmaking of Bird and Magic, dribbles like Isaiah Thomas with Steph Curry range. There was literally no other player like Maravich in the era of physical imposing centers. Picked third in the 1970 draft, Pete made the playoffs each of his first 3 seasons with Atlanta, had star teammate Lou Hudson, lost to defending champion Knicks, no shame on that, fell to Boston in 72 and 73, later failed to make the playoffs each of his next 6 seasons, until finally playing for Boston his final year, which was Larry Bird's rookie season. Pistols' tenure with the New Orleans Jazz unfulfilling, put up empty stats on an awful team. His countless of outside jumpers only counted as 2s, decades ahead of his time, had knee injuries and a heart condition. His last year in the NBA, the only time he got out the first round, an unfulfilling 26 total playoff games. One of the most decorated players, skill for skill, but in terms of top 75, one of the weakest resumes with all the respect. Dave Bing, the former mayor of Detroit, spent first 9 seasons in the Motor City, averaged 22.6 points, 6.5 assists, but only 3 postseason stints with the team, has superb numbers, balled out his second year against the champion Celtics, averaged over 28, took Bill Russell to 6, the 7-time All-Star, one of the most head-scratching top 75er, due to making the top 50 list back in 1997. There's been too many players that's come along, surpassing Dave's resume. Bing finally got past the opening round of the playoffs, his second to last season, after being traded to Washington, but was a shell of himself, limited off the bench, played behind Elvin Hayes and Wes Unseld. Washington later cut him, only for the franchise to win the title the following year. Bing spent his final season with the dark times of the struggling Boston Celtics, having 5 total playoff appearances, 1 time under the age of 30. Mitch Richmond started his career with Run TMZ with legendary offensive head coach Don Nelson and Brooklyn sensation sharpshooter Chris Mullin. Upsetted Utah round 1 before falling to the Suns in 5. Richmond, a stellar rookie postseason campaign, made the playoffs again in 91, fell to Magic's Lakers in the semis. Both Mitch, Chris, and Tim averaged above 20 points a game, traded in the offseason to Sacramento for high draft pick Billy Owens, a Don Nelson favorite. Devastated being on an awful franchise, sent to the shadow realm of the NBA, similar to the modern day Washington Wizards. Mitch didn't play Sacramento's season opener, only to find out his team lost by 61. Posted a 2-11 win to 3-06 loss record with the franchise, 1 playoff appearance in 7 seasons, made it as the 8th seed, falling easily to the 96 Sonics. His most memorable time in the mid-90s, winning 95 All-Star Game MVP, a victim being on bad teams, only had 3 winning career seasons. Fortunately, one of them happened with the 2002 Lakers, his last year, ending his Hall of Fame career with a ring as a reserve. Surrounded by bad teams most of his time in the league, his name often forgotten, underrated, and never talked about. Kemba Walker, already forgotten, last played in the NBA 2023, spent 8 seasons in Charlotte, made 2 playoffs there as the main guy, fell to Miami both times. The 4-time All-Star wasted his prime years from 2017 to 2019 on a franchise, winning games in the mid to high 30s. His best teammate for the Bobcats/Hornets, sadly, Al Jefferson. After signing with Boston, Walker's style of play took a toll on his knees, becoming washed by the second round Toronto bubble series, got destroyed by Miami's Goran Dragic, struggled to help Boston make the finals. Unlike Richmond, who had a happy farewell ending, Kemba only played 89 combined games after 2020 bubble in 3 full possible seasons. Kemba, sadly, one of the quickest fall-offs in NBA history. Billy Cunningham, another top 75er, the Kangaroo Kid, had the luxury playing with Will Chamberlain his second season, won the title as a role player, suffered a broken wrist during the 68 playoffs, cost his team the title, fell to Boston in 7 without his services. Following year, Will traded to the Lakers. Cunningham became a first-time All-Star, finished third for MVP, best player on a 55-win squad, fell to Boston in 5, would lead Philly to the playoffs each of the following 2 seasons, losing to the Bucks and Bullets. Cunningham averaged 27, 13, and 5, most remembered being the backbone of an overachieving Sixers team after Wilt's tenure, played just 9 total seasons in the NBA, won a title in '83 as head coach. Of these Hall of Fame caliber star players, a couple won scoring titles, a few first-team All-NBA honors, MVP candidates, but never leading their team past the first round as the number 1 option. A disgrace of a travesty, especially from Tracy McGrady and Russell Westbrook. The rest, fully understandable, given their weaker supporting cast. Talent in the NBA will get you lots of headlines, especially when you're in your prime, but winning gets you all the legacy. Who's the more overrated player performer between Westbrook and T-Mac? With all the respect, there's many other Hall of Famers who gets ridiculed for their lack of playoff success, like Carmelo Anthony and Vince Carter, but at least they won numerous first-round series, being the best player on their teams. In today's NBA, Karl Anthony Towns didn't make it past the first round until Anthony Edwards became better than him, also became a winner making the conference finals. With Jalen Brunson leading the Knicks, Cat contend riding number 2, will today's Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, and LaMelo Ball fall victim to this same list after they retire? All 3 of them have the talent, but being a proven leader as a first option on a playoff team, yet to be determined.